Hey folks, we're back on this next step of effortless weight loss, and as promised, we're going to talk about time-restricted feeding, and that's also known as intermittent fasting. In reality, you could call it intermittent eating or any other number of terms which define the pattern of when we consume food and don't consume food through a 24-hour period. So that's really what this is all about. So already you're eating a plant-based diet. You have developed a fat-adapted metabolism, so you're able to access and burn stores of body fat. You're dining richly. You're using various strategic tools like front-loading and back-loading that we've talked about. And also you're eating during the daylight hours. So now the next thing to add is to just slightly compress the eating window. In other words, if we were near the equator and there were 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness, by definition, eating when the sky was light would probably give you a 12-hour eating window. Well, what I'm about to say is to compress that just a little bit. There is very good data that we currently have that explains how compressing the eating window, or in other words, using time-restricted feeding, enhances a number of health factors, including a process of cellular cleanup known as autophagy. It also tends to decrease fat storage. The literature says anything less than 12 hours is good, but for our weight loss efforts, there is a point between 6 and 9 hours which is probably best. Again, a person could use a 1 in 23 hour model if you're only eating one meal per day, but that may not be as sustainable as several meals for most of us. So really the message here is try to compress your eating window down to 6 to 9 hours per day. So an example of a 6-hour window would be perhaps eating between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. and a 9-hour window would be, a bit larger than that. A very powerful tool that I hope you can take advantage of. Coming up next, we're going to look at sleep and how this factors into what we've been doing with diet and nutrition, and now we're really going to start regulating hormones optimally.